All right, I got permission from Mr. Rex Nolen to film this Q&A this morning for breakfast, so I hope you guys enjoy. Rex Nolen's the poster child for Maron Makeup for the hobo, and he has been for years. He's a very, very talented hobo clown. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I've learned a lot from him this week, and I hope you guys enjoy his stories.
I'm Rex Nolen out of Kansas City, Missouri, and technically I shouldn't even be here. I said technically, not legally. I'm okay in Maple Lake, but not in Annandale or Buffalo. That hasn't been cleared yet. But and when I say technically, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, and feel free to ask questions as I go here, because I get lost and I'll start wandering around. But I grew up in a pretty tough little area. We had nothing. You know, my dad was a painter. My mom was a child wrangler trying to keep us out of the juvie. And no, it wasn't that bad, but she had her hands full. And, you know, I played sports. At school I went to, fine arts at my school was wood shop and PE. I mean, we had nothing. And I had no background in this at all. And it's kind of funny how life's journey takes you where you end up. You never know. You know where you're starting. You don't always know where you're ending. And I was very lucky. I went to college, got a degree. All I wanted to be was a high school football coach. And that lasted about 3 years. And then I started, in college, I had to have a part-time job, so I started bartending when I was 18 years old in Kansas. You could do about anything you wanted to in Kansas. And I started bartending when I was 18, and then when I started teaching school, I was still bartending because I didn't make any money. And you can just imagine the blowout from all that bartending. Now, I created some bad habits along the way. And happy to say now, I always put this out there, because I never know who's bumping up against that issue, but 37 years.
Awesome. Hey, Rex.
I still feel lousy every morning, but it's still, but 37 years, and I think it was mainly I didn't know if I had an alcohol addiction or an aspirin addiction, because I'm taking them so much. But
43.
good for you, yeah. And so when I did quit, it's kind of just a bam. This has to stop. And but I had also been in the concession business. You know, I had to have a job, and so I worked around all these concession guys, and I got to see all these shows. In Kansas City, we only had this one Municipal Auditorium, and there was all kinds of shows coming through there. Circuses, we'd have 3 circuses a year coming through there, and a couple ice shows and concerts, and so I was always around entertainment that way. And when I was like 18 years old, Ringling came through for the first time in a long time, and you've heard Ron talk a lot about Otto Griebling. I'm up there, I'm a kid, I don't know up from down, you know, I'm just hustling this cotton candy. And all of a sudden this guy comes out into the center ring, and like I said, I'm a Dumbelski from the inner city, man. And I see this guy, this little old man out there with 2 pie pans. You've heard them talk Steve Smith, and well, I saw that. And I can remember it was like yesterday. I'm up there in the arena. Candy, who wants a candy? That's why this voice is like it is now, this melodic voice of mine. And how many you want here? Hey, how about you? And all of a sudden I stop and I see this guy out there, and I just put the board down. I didn't know, and you're going to have to excuse my language. I get a little rough around the collars sometimes, so don't write me up. Oh, you talks like a sailor, okay? I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I knew at that moment there was something magical happening in that arena. I couldn't describe it, but I knew I liked it. And that was at 18 years old, you know. And I can remember that day specifically. And of course, I had no background with people or that there was ever a clown alley or anything like that. I didn't know nothing from nothing. And so life goes on. I still keep working in the concession business, and I still keep seeing circuses, but never anything like what I saw with that guy. So when I'm 40, or yeah, right at 40, 39, 40, a friend of mine was a Shriner, there at Shrine Temple in Kansas City, Missouri, and he became you know, they have all this hierarchy, so I don't know if these terms mean anything to you, but he was like on the board of directors. They call it the divan. I used to always tell him, I'll call him that he was on the sofa. just to make him mad. I'd like to be on that sofa. It's the divan. Oh, okay. It's all right, it was just a Rolex, okay? So, he's all gung-ho too, see? And he goes, hey, you want to go to the circus? I can take you, you know, Mr. Big Shot. I can get you in, I can take you to the circus. Okay, fine. So, and I hadn't been in a while. And I knew there were shrine clowns. But like I said, I didn't know anything about alleys. I didn't know anything about that, COAI or nothing like that. And so he takes me to this circus. And I was still teaching school. I taught 27 years. I'm just retired last September. 47 years of teaching school. And when I finally did it, I was 70, 74 now. I was 73 back in September. I told the principal, I said, you know, this party ain't going to last forever. There ain't too many 73-year-old gym teachers out there. I made mandatory all the kids, every kid in the gym class had to know how to work the defibrillator. You know? That was to pass the class. You had to know where to put the patches, stand back and hit the button. You know, I told the nurse, I said, for God's sakes, I don't care about anything else in school, but you make damn sure that battery works in that. Don't be using it for killing flies, you know. No, that's for me. Okay. So, but I was working, and at that time I was working in a different, there was 2 school districts in the state of Missouri that were not accredited. Wow. I worked in one of them. The other one was in St. Louis. Now that tells you, I mean, you hear about this, you know, metal detectors, we had them. Armed guards, we had them. I'd have to work the desk sometimes. Come in, all right, okay, up against the wall. Nothing like a good pat down first thing in the morning to get your day going. We'd have to take their shoes. They'd come in there with their gym shoes. You know, they're not their street gym shoes, but you know, when I was a kid growing up, I had one pair of shoes. They did it for everything. You know, like church, school, everyday living. I had one pair. And these guys got 2 or 3. So we'd have to come in. You'd have to hit them on the heels, bam, to make sure they didn't have a shiv stuck up in it or something like that. Wow. Nice way to start the day.
Wow.
And then they got wise, and they start, before they go through the metal detector in the morning, they get one would go in ahead of time, go to the window, toss one up to him. I've had him come in there. I'd be up there teaching. I taught general science and phys ed. Yeah.
How old were these first graders?
Oh yeah, no. This was in high school. This was a high school. But I had to take some science classes to get a PE degree. So and I was big and strong. It was like I was like the bouncer, you know, at a school. So I also taught general science. It was very general. This is air. This is a rock. Don't throw it. And I had been gone for a while, and first day back, I'll never forget. You know, it's funny. You all are older, and you've heard this. What happened? All of a sudden, the bus just passed me by. You know, and so I'm in there teaching, and pagers had just become popular. You know, and I didn't have a lot of money. I was all at school. I'd go out to a singles bar and I'd take my garage door opener. They didn't know, you know. So I'm standing up there teaching first day of school, and I look down at this kid, and he's got this on his ankle, and I said, hey. No pagers in here. And he goes, no. Oh, what I found out, it was an in-house arrest monitor.
Yeah.
And he come on the side, goes, I may have to go to a designated phone if this thing goes, okay, I got you. So that's the kind of operation I was in. So this guy says, I can get you into the Shriners. I said, well, I said, if I could do that, what the clowns were doing out there. And he goes, that's not a problem. Paperwork right there in your hand. And I thought, at that time, I had lost all my friends. I quit drinking. And I had to kind of give me a new tribe of people. And I wanted to make somebody laugh. I need to make somebody laugh. I need to make me laugh. Is what I needed.
Yeah.
And I got so doggone lucky that I had a guy there. You've heard this, I probably bet all week. Some of these alleys, some are really good places, and some are not so good places. The people, the attitude.
Yeah.
And I got lucky with these guys, and I got lucky with this one guy. He had grown up in kind of a situation like me, and we hit it off, and he was my mentor. And I was also fortunate, single guy. I was, bartending nights, teaching school day. I had pretty good, wasn't drinking anymore. Every morning I woke up one day, and I picked up my pants. I thought, I got somebody else's pants. There's money in these. What's that? There's money in these. Whose are these? These aren't mine. So I was able to hook up and meet up with Tricia. A year later, I was at a camp, and I had been bartending for all these years. I didn't realize that I was already doing some training, and I worked for some guys. It's crazy, you never know where you're going to find it out there. I worked for pretty long for two different guys. One guy was a bookie that I'm bartending for, and another guy had mob associations. Oh yeah, but they were nutbags. I mean, they were comical guys. They had been lifelong bartenders, and they had some of the best facial expressions. They were great storytellers, and I was lucky. I grew up. My dad was the youngest of 18 kids.
Whoa.
Yeah, 18, and I can say it now. He was the youngest one, and he was the last one to go. It was kind of like he had a list. Oh God, I'm only 3 down, but we didn't have we'd go over to his sister's house and stuff like that, and they'd tell these stories. And every time they told the story, it got more embellished and more embellished. And I think that helped me with the being in a bar, if you don't make them laugh, you ain't getting much tips.
Yeah.
And I learned you got music playing, you can't always hear. I learned so much with facial expression and timing, not from this community, but from another. You never know where you're going to find it, and it's put it into action. And then I was also lucky because I had found this newfound thing. I took it to the schools, and I always have shared stuff with the school. And I just was one of these guys. My character, when I first started out, I wanted to be an all goose clown. I wanted to be like Lou Jacobs. And I always question. I warn people: you see these things, don't be that person. You can be like that person. You can take in some of their things, but make it you. Mold it around, and I wanted to be like that, and all that colorful. Oh my God, it took me forever. And those guys move around so fast. I don't do anything fast, I just kind of shuffle along, And I evolved into the tramp clown that I am. But I had this new skill and I wanted to share it, and I was lucky I had a classroom. And so I started incorporating it in there. But I always did dumb things find me. I have some of the people tell me, I think they think I make these stories up, but they're like, like when my nephews helped get me run over by my own truck. I've had that happen, How do you run over yourself? Oh, it takes work, but you can do it. One of my best, this is from my friend Doc here. So, I had, I was a science teacher, and I was just, like I said, this is air, this is water, but, because phys ed was my major, and I started kind of incorporating magic tricks into science, and a lot of them have magic tricks that you have science principles. So this school I was at, kids were every day. You'd have this kid today, then he's absent, I might not see him for 3 days. This one comes today, he's not there for 2 days. It was just like a merry-go-round. There was no, how do you plan? So it was like a la carte every day. So, and if you guys have questions, don't just sit there like deer in the headlights. I know it's early in the morning, but you can ask. I'm open game to about anything. Yeah, sweetie.
What's your favorite clown type that you would do if it wasn't excuse me, if it wasn't hobo or tramp?
Oh, tramp.
It wouldn't be on booster.
Well, you gotta speak up. I'm old and I left my horn in the room.
I was saying, would you ever jump into the realm of whiteface or
No.
August?
Just stay where I'm at. Okay. So I'm planning to get ready to go to work, and it's like, okay, what are we going to do today? Because every day. And how many of you remember Mr. Wizard?
Don Gerber.
Don, yeah. He was not a science teacher; he was an actor, and they gave him the script. So here's Mr. Wizard. It's. Yeah, now I get up at 5. I'm old. I get up at 5. Well, actually, I get up at 1, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of like the bus route. So I'm up. It's in early. I'm like, there's Mr. Wizard, and he made a potato gun.
Oh, yeah.
And the way he made the potato gun, he just took a couple canisters. And I hadn't really started the clowning thing yet, but I was still doing dumb things, and I think I probably had a hangover that morning. But anyway, so he makes his potato gun. He takes a couple orange juice canisters, takes the lid up, pushes it up, and then he duct taped it together. Takes a Nerf ball, puts it in the end of it, and he pokes a little hole in the bottom of it, and squirts some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol in there, lights it, ball pops out. Okay, there's the day's lesson. All right, chemical reaction, there we go. Tip number 438. Practice the gag before you go to the show. Practice the gag before you go to the show. So what do? I get this thing going. I get in there. I take the canister. I get there. Okay, what am I going to do here? And blah blah. And I'm digging around. It says science lab. They got the alcohol. I got the stopper. And so I get up there. Okay, today we're going to talk about chemical reaction. Oh, really? Okay. What do you mean we're not going to do a word search today? Like we have in the last 2 weeks? No. And so I put the Nerf ball in there, and I got the eye drop, and I'm nervous because first time I got it'd be like doing a trick at a birthday party. You got 20 kids sitting there. It's like, oh God, I hope this works. So I squirt it in there, and I light it, and ball pops out. Thank God. And they're like, God, he's magic.
Yeah.
You know, he's a wizard. And they're like, oh man, that's pretty slick. Do it again, do it again. Okay, so I did it again. Well, don't ever get too overconfident. By the end of the day, I've lost the eyedropper. I don't know where it's gone. And I'm just like, I got a half pint. I'm just, if a couple drops is good, well, let's load that baby up, you know. So by the end of the day, I mean, thank God, you know, they're always low-armed teachers. They should have fired me right on the spot for this one. Talk about dumb move number 14. Here it is. So where the room was, and I had to move around from room to room all day long. Right down from me was the girls' restroom. And back in those days, it was that style, you know, the girls had all that ratted hair, and they all had the bangs, and they looked like curb feelers. You know, they had those curves, those bangs out there like that. So they're down there in the bathroom, you know, getting ready for the last class of the day. And at school, there's no air conditioning. It's about 90 degrees. I'm about 70, 80 pounds bigger than I am right now. You know, my sport of choice in those days was sweat. You know, and just hot. It was big and everything else. So these girls, and they come. They've just been down there and they're spraying that Aquanet. You know, you can't hardly find that anymore. I was looking for it the other day for myself. You know, and dang it, I love that stuff. You know, and so they're down there spraying it down, and they're just like where the tables are. That's just down the hall. So, and just as they come in, this one kid comes in. I can remember his name was Tyrone. I remember his name. He comes in and goes right to the back, his premeditated boredom. He comes in and goes right to the back room and lays down on a bench. He's asleep back there. Or haven't even started, he's already asleep. So in they come. Okay, today we're going to do this. And so I got this class. Out comes the potato gun. Nerf ball goes in. Rubbing alcohol, 98 proof. That's what you got to have, that high percentage. Boom, 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 boom. Light it up. Hit that match to it. Earlier in the day, it was this. Hit that match. Boom! Ball comes flying out of there like a meteorite. It's on fire. The foam ball, I mean, and it goes, you know, earlier in the day, it just like, bloop, just plops out. This thing's like a rocket. Right to the back wall, hits the wall. Tyrone's laying there asleep underneath it. Sparks come flying off of that. You guys excuse my language on this. Like I said, I woke your ass up, didn't it, Tyrone? He's like, what the hell? All of a sudden, this girl, Christina Morales, I remember her name to this day. I mean, this has been 40 years ago, probably. Mr. Nolen! I panned the room. Whoa! Hair's on fire! I can laugh about it now. Oh my God. I'm like, it was just talk about the I'm like, Mr. Nolen, this is his little life. I went, whoa! Over I go. I'm running. I mean, it's blue. Like Marge Simpson. I mean, it's blue.
That Aquanet.
Oh, yeah. She had her own little atmosphere over here. Of Aquanet. And when that went by, from like where that post is to here, it caught it.
Yeah.
And so, then, if that ain't bad enough, so here I am. And like I said, you know, I had a polo shirt on over her head. Now I got this kid's head inside my shirt.
Who went to the principal's office?
Hang on. I'm sending out smoke signals through my polo, you know. Distress. Finally, we got her put out. And, took care of the split ends, I'll tell you that. And I always say, God has a plan. There's always, I don't know if that was the plan, but anyway, but God has a plan. They didn't fire me. I don't know. After I got her put out, then I went over, got a cardboard box, and it was kind of like, well, you kids, you'll have a different teacher here tomorrow. And I'm putting stuff in this box. That's it for today, folks. And get the word searches back out, you know. And nobody ever said a word. Nobody ever said nothing. And I think she probably went home and said, you know, my science teacher set my hair, you know, like, what's wrong with your hair? Oh, my science teacher set my hair. No, you were smoking crack. I know that. And, you know, but.
Thank goodness they didn't have smoke detectors in there.
Oh, sprinklers. Oh, yeah. I mean, this place was pretty rugged. Oh, my God. I think about that. I look back at that and I go, when that, so she was about a sophomore then. I'll never forget when she finally graduated. I was standing there at okay, she's on the stage. She shook hands. She has the diploma. Okay, good. She's out of here. She used to, every once in a while, she'd she'd make a joke about it going, don't go Mr. Nolen's kind of set your hair on fire. Oh my God. You know, it's just crazy. Yeah. And I just always kind of found I just kind of did dumb stuff. Didn't plan it. Don't ever plan it because they're not funny then, you know. But oh my God. So anybody, if you got something.
Just imagine all the dumb stuff we did and we survived.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Thank goodness for a cell phone.
Oh.
My question is, who are your character influences, or how did you build?
Well, Otto was a big one. And like I said, a couple of these guys I bartended for. I learned more facial and timing from those guys, you know, on the job right then. There's some other guys, George Carl.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with who George Carl is, finding.
Frosty.
Frosty Little was yeah, exactly. I got very lucky when I first, and you know, some of these guys, they get lost, you know. Brad was lucky enough to know Frosty. I knew him real well. Frosty Little, clown with the Griebling brothers, and he was a big influence. I did a lot of work with him one-on-one and stuff like that. He was the first time I ever met him was at Moose, and they sent me to go pick him up at the airport. And this guy. So oh my God, I'm going to pick up Frosty Little, Master Clown Frosty Little. So I go up there. I'm looking for him. Here he comes off the stage, and he comes off. He's walking. He's got his grip. Oh my God! Here's Frosty. I went, hey Frosty. Hey, nice to meet you. I put my hand like that, and he stuck his suitcase in my hand. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Frost. Okay, well let's go get in the car. Okay. But yeah, those were guys. I just the speed of it, you know. But I just want to emulate, not copy. Good question.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
You what?
What's your favorite color? I said.
Just whatever I said. Look at me. Go ahead. Whatever's clean and on top of the pile. That's my favorite color.
How did you manage to become the poster child for Maron? How did that happen?
The what?
The poster child for Maron for the Tramp character.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said poster child of America. I thought.
No. You're the premier makeup face for Tramp makeup.
Was I in a telethon I didn't know about?
Yeah.
At that time, Tricia was doing a lot with Mayron. And there wasn't, I was a readily available.
Just right place, right time kind of thing, huh?
Yeah. And my makeup was good, you know. And so I needed one.
Right.
And I I know some people got upset about that. Because I never was a Ringling Clown.
Yeah.
And it eluded that they were all Ringling. Oh, that guy ain't a Ringling Clown. You know, so but it was funny. You can't, you know, you're nothing in your own hometown. You know, you got to go across the world to be something. You know, and so one time I was in a costume shop in Kansas City, and there was this snippy little girl working the counter, and so Mayron used to have these, I don't know if they still do, these little flyers for what kind of clown you wanted to be, and they had the makeup tips on it. And they had interviewed me, and they had the tips and everything. So this girl, she just thought she was so full of herself. And I was just kind of, I don't know, I was looking for nose glue or something anyway. And she says, I said, oh, looky here, here's me. And she's the kind of blew me off, you know. She goes, oh yeah. I said, oh no, really, take a look. And it had my before and after picture. And then now she zoomed in and she was, oh my, oh yeah. She goes, well, maybe you could come and do a makeup demonstration here someday. Now she wants to talk to me. I said, yeah, I'm pretty busy. I'm pretty busy. I tell them.
Hey, Rex, you got to tell them how you got out of, how you end a big long balloon twisting line with the other side of the.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that. You know, you got to get out there, and I'd say, oh, you know, I got to be someplace in the park right now. Well, I did, the parking lot. I wasn't lying, you know, I had to be over there.
You said that a lot of your timing and style came from working as a bartender. Did you ever look into other things besides that, besides the clowning, like some sort of acting class or some sort of improv class ever? Did you ever go into environments besides the clown atmosphere to look at comedy? Like what other influences in
You know what, I am doing something right now. In fact, when I leave here, you know, I look at myself, you know, I mean, I'm slowing down a little bit, you know, thank God. So, like I told this at my school, this party ain't gonna last forever, you know, 73-year-old gym teacher. I didn't want to be this guy coming in there. Okay, class, this is what we got today. Hold the elevator, you know. So, I love music. You know, I love music. I'm a big music fan. Growing up, you know, I was drinking illegally. In Missouri, the age is 21. I was drinking 18. I had a full, my hair was all one color in those days, black. And, you know, all the places I went to, they mostly had jazz on the jukeboxes. And I really, that's my thing that I love to hear. And I love musicians. To me, anybody, any art form is great. You know, artists, I see these guys, these speed painters that they got the board and they're spinning it like a roulette wheel and they're painting and all of a sudden it stops and it's Noah's Ark with all the animals on it or something. You know, and I see, I'm out, for a guy doesn't drink, I'm in bars every night, you know. 7-Up, you know, okay, that'll be $20. Well, thanks a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So, and they stand up there and they just play music, no music in front of them. They just these God-given talents, and we all have those God-given talents. Whether or not you know it, you got it. It's there. Sometimes you got to peel off the onion skin to get to it, but it's there. And so I just love that kind of music and everything. Well, these are not the hands of a concert pianist, you know. And I tried playing different things, you know, you name it, I tried to play it, and I love the harmonica, and I play a chromatic, jazz ballads, the Great American Songbook. I'm not a blues player or anything like that. So I'm putting together for kids, music is magic. And what I did find from when I was teaching in the grade schools the junior highs, I would always teach square dance. I did it for a couple reasons, just to make them have to groan. They had to hold somebody's hand. And parents would say, well, why are you doing, some of them, they were like, oh, great, make them do that, And we had to do it, and it wasn't a torture thing. They said, why are you doing that? And I said, well, it's like the T-Rex. When it's gone, it's going to be gone. This part of our culture is going to be gone. And that's the way with some of these old songs, Froggy went a courting, Camptown Ladies. These kids don't know these silly songs. So I'm putting together a program where I play simple songs, and my voice is not the voice of Pavarotti. I can sing I can sing those silly verses and then play the chorus. And then, we'll do a couple songs. Oh, let's do a couple tricks. Then come back and do a couple songs. So I am I'm taking that way, and then I'm working on a deal with nursing homes where I just play the Great American Songbook ballads. They don't want to hear, Froggy Went a Courting, but Blue Moon and things like that. And they like stupider tricks. You give a stupid trick to a kid, they look at it and they go, well, that's dumb, But an adult, they'll get a chuckle out of it, And so I am looking at that other venue of doing that. But as far as,
What's your favorite gag to do?
Usually on steak. No. I like walk around type stuff where I'm just got 3 or 4 items in my pocket, and I like using, there's all these what do they call it when it's organic? All these buzzwords we live in. I like going up to like a table in my class. I'm going to show that, and today, where just take nothing and make it something. And you learn. So I'm working one night 10 bar, and there was this guy I knew. His name was Jimmy Gavin, but he was a big wuss in grade school. He went to a Catholic grade school. The priest told him one day, said, "You're acting like a Molly." His name stuck. That's what they called him all his life, Molly. But he was a great big guy. He had this name, Molly. So one night, he's leaving the bar, and he's being Mr. Smooth, and whichever way that maybe it was this way. So he's holding the door open for this woman. No, it was this way, and he was trying to hold the door back. The door was blowing, and he was standing here like this, and he was trying to hold the door. And this lady comes leaving, and she was a really pretty gal, and he's got the way the door, I can't get it right here, but he was holding it, and his hand got, just wait, it gets worse. His hand's in the jam, and he's being Mr. Smooth. And not every day I get to hold the door for a nice looking lady like you. Hope you had a nice evening. You really look sweet tonight. And the guy was like, So she goes to walk by, and where he was positioned, I guess he was like this maybe, I don't know. She just unthinkingly, his thumb's in the door, and suddenly it went from, well, I hope you had, not every day I get to hold the door for a really pretty looking, she went from a beauty queen to a hog caller. And I love just seeing, that. Watch the world around you and watch reactions. They're not always fast, but I guess we gotta eat here, but the magic's in you already.
Yeah.
You just gotta shine it up a little bit, buff it up a little bit, and use it. Don't like Jesus said, don't keep it under a bush. Get it out there.
Thank you, Rex.
Thank you for letting me share. I'm here for 2 more days, so if you ever want to chat, come find me.
I love your